You don't know Robbie Williams? He was in Take That. And we were like, we don't know what Take That is either.
That's what I was going to say.
I was like, what's that?
Me with the floor show, kicking with your torso. Boys getting high and the girls even more so. Wave your hands if you're not with a man. Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
I got, you got, we got everybody. I got the gift, gonna stick it in the goal.
See, unlike James Corden, we're actually driving around while we're doing this.
Yeah, you're really driving.
There's no picture car. This is real, man.
Nobody's pulling us with a camera.
All right, so Monkey Man. What the fuck is the name of this movie?
Better Man?
Better Man.
Right?
This is not the Eddie Vedder story, I don't think.
Well, you should put that in there. That's funny.
Oh, it's going to be in there. That's what I'm saying.
I'm really curious what this movie is going to be. I'm going in, and I'll say this, I'm going in completely blind. I have not read a review. I just know Robbie Williams, CGI monkeys.
Yeah. Well, he's just the monkey from my understanding.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like it's a Planet of the Apes. Again, to my understanding, it's not like it's Planet of the Apes and everybody's an ape and like there's one human or something like that. He's like the only ape.
Okay.
How they're going to address that, who's to say? I think it's going to be at least interesting from a like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, credit where credit is due. You're coming up with something interesting and certainly
Take a left
unique.
at this light. I like going in completely blind. I was thinking about reading a couple reviews. And I was like, no, don't even do that.
I've seen a lot of TikTok ads just praising it and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
Without question, I think the most surprising film of the year is going to be Better Man, the musical biopic about Robbie Williams.
I walked into Better Man back in September, knew nothing about it, and walked out loving it.
Who is Robbie Williams, and why does he have a movie with a monkey CGI'd as himself? We don't even know who he is here.
So I don't know any of his music. I don't know any of Robbie Williams' music at all. It's just it's going to be sort of the most I've heard people compare his music to is like watching like an Old Navy ad.
Oh.
So that's like, oh, this is like Target. This is like a Target ad. And you're like, okay. I mean, we're really selling it here.
He's huge in the UK.
Yeah, so
right at the stop sign.
So they keep telling us. Yeah. They keep teling us, oh yeah,
I want to say he just had a documentary on HBO or something. Maybe he's on Netflix. It's like a mini-series about his life.
My favorite part is when every British person just goes, you don't know Robbie Williams? He was in Take That. And we're like, we don't know what Take That is either.
That's what I was going to say.
I was like, what's that?
What is that?
You don't know what Take That is? Oh my God, what an uncultured, I'm sorry, but
like an English caper? What's going on?
It's so bad.
Is it like Lock, Stock?
Like, listen, you
Americans only know two fucking movies.
If you didn't know, New Kids on the Block, I wouldn't, cry about it. I'd be like, yeah, that was our thing.
You don't, come on, Hanging Tough? You didn't have that? It sold 30 million albums.
Please don't go, girl.
Oh, man.
Man, that will come on some serious XM stuff every now and then. And
and you let it ride.
Oh, I'll let it ride.
You let it ride.
I will let it ride. I don't care.
All right, see, I'm Team Oasis, and Oasis had a big beef with Robbie Williams back in the day.
Okay.
I think they were even on like award shows slagging him off. So I was always Team Oasis, and I never paid attention to Robbie Williams. But I think he had like one minor hit in America. I keep thinking Jamiroquai.
Oh man, yeah. At least that song, like he had it. Like, listen, in America, Jamiroquai has had more hits than Robbie Williams.
See, and they don't have a movie.
No, where's the Jamiroquai movie? Damn it.
I would know a bit more of his material. But yeah, I don't. I'm going in completely blind. I like that. How long do you want to do this little intro thing?
We've been doing it.
Oh, it's on.
This was it.
Oh,
based upon like the tiny little bit of CGI monkey I've seen, I don't think it looks good. I think the CGI monkey looks bad, at least in all the trailers and stuff. So I'm hoping it's better than that.
Maybe it's intentional.
Intentionally bad, shitty work. That is the most Hollywood thing I've ever heard. It's just like, no, we made it shitty on purpose.
We're going to add a little personality with shitty CGI.
That's what the kids like these days. They love... they say, as bad as it looks, we want it to look worse.
Mufasa.
All right, so 1:45 on a Saturday. How many tickets to this movie do you think have been sold?
I think they're going to ask us if we can go back outside and bring some people in. I don't... You guys have friends that you could...
It becomes a bringer show.
I say maybe 15 tickets.
Okay, 15.
All right. But I think...
there's no way in hell 15 tickets. I'm going to say 5 if you're lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I win.
Okay.
All right, let's go here.
For the next 2 hours, your ass is mine!
All right, so we're back after seeing Better Man. Not the Eddie Vedder documentary we
No.
was.
The Robbie Williams documentary, sort of.
Sort of. Now, let's talk about this real fast. I mean, like we said, Robbie Williams, we weren't too familiar and everything.
No.
I think this did a pretty decent job of kind of giving us, the life story and everything.
I'll agree. Yeah. I think he had enough going on in his life where it made it interesting.
Yeah. That said, though, because here's the thing. The big thing that everybody's going to be talking about is the monkey bit.
Yeah.
What do you think of the monkey? Because
the CGI was better than I thought.
I thought it was going to be shit, too.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be bad, but for the most part, it's pretty good. I will say this, though. In 20, maybe less than that, but in 20 years, it's going to look real bad. Because,
Probably,
for example, Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
It took a long time for that to look bad.
Yeah.
This will look bad faster than that.
Probably.
Because it took about 20 years before you looked at like Two Towers and were like, oh man, this doesn't look as good as it used to.
I feel like you kind of forgot about the monkey.
You forget about it, but that's what... Honestly, and props to whoever, the little kid at the beginning.
Oh, adorable.
Played little Robbie Williams as a monkey. And by the way, we never talk about the fact that he is a monkey or anything else like that.
No, it's never mentioned.
Never mentioned,
ever.
which is fine, which is
Yeah.
good. I would actually prefer it be that way than them just going, you're nothing but a monkey boy. No one needs that.
And you think maybe it's because he sees himself as that?
That's what I got from like
Okay.
interviews and stuff like that. It's like, of course, in the interview that I saw, it's just like, oh, I see myself as a lion, right? And then somebody went to him and was just like, but you're not a lion.
You're more of a monkey.
He's like, you're more of a monkey. He's like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll be a monkey. And it does fit. And honestly, like, as much as we don't know him as Americans and everything, it does kind of fall away. And you really, because it's obviously his eyes and everything, but you can really see him and kind of see past. And honestly, surprisingly, I think the fact that he was a CGI monkey, like, it added something to it, but it also just, it did make him different enough from everybody else to where you empathized with him in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
And I think, and also it might be, certainly would be distracting if you had like, today Robbie Williams playing younger Robbie Williams in like his 20s and stuff like that, and the de-aging, that would look like shit.
Yeah.
So, monkey's kind of, like, oddly enough, the only way to go.
Yeah, I think, you're right. It definitely worked, because if they would have done, de-aging does not work.
Not as well as we'd like it to.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Scorsese. What was the de-aging in The Irishman?
It was so bad.
That's one of the worst.
It was so bad. You've got all of these, like, 80-year-old men walking around with 25-year-old faces and stuff.
De Niro's beating people up.
They walk like they're 900 years old. And yet they've got this spring chicken face, but it's just like you've got arthritis in your back.
Yeah.
So bad.
The scene of him beating up the other guy is, that's not good. But, yeah, I don't think it really took me out, the CGI monkey. I think you do kind of forget about it towards the end. It looked good. I did recognize one song. I was like, I don't know anything about Robbie Williams.
The Angel song? Was that the one?
That's the one.
Because that was the hit here in America.
Yeah.
We heard the Angel song, and I was just like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember that being kind of a thing and stuff. It is astounding, though, when you look at this, because I'm going to go ahead and assume that these are all fairly faithful recreations as far as like crowd size and all that kind of garbage goes.
Yeah.
But somebody that's as big of an artist as that, and in America here, I don't want to say bubkiss, but pretty close. It's kind of wild to think that there could be somebody that's of that magnitude and everything, and we just go, oh, thank you.
Well, most Americans don't even know Nebworth. They have no idea about these
Wasn't he
shows.
a member of the Cosby thing in the animated series? Nebworth? Wasn't he one of the...
I was like, what? Oh, yes. But yeah, most Americans don't know Nebworth. I mean, to gather 120,000 people in one venue, you got to be pretty fucking good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the music itself. Let's talk about the music.
Okay.
I think the Target ad things were a little correct, but not in like the bad way. Like you never listen to any of it and go like, "This is offensively bad."
Yeah, it's
a little corny.
It is corny. I like the music enough, but I would not go out of my way to listen to it. I would not. It wouldn't be in my algorithm. They wouldn't throw Robbie Williams at me.
I don't go so far as to say that like this movie has converted me to a Robbie Williams fan.
No, probably not.
I don't dislike him.
Yeah,
I have a little bit more interest in in at least his career to some degree or another. But sure. I don't go like gonna be listening to that new Robbie Williams record.
I'm curious on what Liam Gallagher thinks of the guy that played Liam Gallagher, because Liam Gallagher is renowned for being pretty vain. You know, I want to. I wanted to get. So let's get your take then, because you're a giant Oasis fan here and everything. You mentioned it. I've seen them live. I saw them live once.
And maybe again
25 years ago.
They'll never happen.
Literally,
they'll never.
No.
They say they're happening, but I don't think that's happening.
I think it was cool to see them. Now, from what I knew back in the day when I was really obsessed over Oasis, they hated Robbie Williams. It was like a legitimate beef.
Yeah.
But in this film, it kind of seems like they're all right.
Maybe
they were a little chummy.
Maybe he's whitewashing this a little bit. But no, I'm friends with Oasis. I promise. You go ask around, ask anybody around here. They'll all say he's the best friend with Oasis.
I feel like Liam and Noel would be like, yeah, he's a fucking monkey. I got that right.
It did feel like them. Like
it did, yeah.
That kind of throwaway, I don't give a damn about anything, just kind of like, and again, that telling him off and then being like, are you coming with us or not? That feels like a very Oasis thing to be like, I'll call you a piece of garbage to your face, but like, aren't you coming and drinking with us? Yeah, the guy that played Noel was very Noel. Of course, he's going to have a guitar, sit there and just kind of judge you silently. No, you suck. It's like, all right, great.
So I think that was good casting, but yeah.
Overall, though, I mean, I think my biggest contention with the movie is kind of Robbie Williams as a person. Because ultimately, it's just a guy who wanted to get famous.
Were you rooting for him?
Like you kind of want him to, because like he seems like an affable enough to a degree, because, save for the problems that he has, you're drinking and drugs and all that kind of stuff. But
a lot of that.
But that's another thing where it's just like there's so much of that and so much of the other things going on, and not for nothing, Robbie Williams is a fine talent. Is he a great talent? No. I don't think he's he's a good singer.
To do that much drugs and boozing before a show and be able to pull it off, I think that's pretty talented.
There's some talent that's involved.
There's some talent there.
Some management skills, if you will.
But I think it goes back to, overall, I don't think I would visit his music, but it was interesting. It was a good movie.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, I guess my biggest thing is, it's like, it really kind of comes down to, listen, I did a whole lot of drugs, and I was kind of a really mean guy and a bit of a jerk and all this other kind of stuff. But, quick scene in rehab and a couple apologies and everything is swept under the rug and all is good with the world.
Yeah.
Everyone's taking me back now because I took 5 minutes out to look back and reflect on my life and go, maybe I've been a dickhead.
Yeah. There was that rehab and then the final song. Everything's good.
Hey, thanks a lot. Now, there's some nice heartwarming moments and stuff. I mean, like his thoughts about, grandma and
grandmother
dad
was very important.
But it works well enough. It's fun enough for it. Because this is the same guy who did Greatest Showman and everything. So somebody that's very, adept to doing musicals. And this is a giant musical, by the way.
Yes,
it's not quite as, singy
Did you know
as
that
Greatest
going
Showman. Oh, yeah, I was fairly certain.
All right.
It's not as singy as, like, your Greatest Showman or something like that. But it's still enough singing and stuff going on to where songs are very much a crux for this. And big, giant, elaborate dance numbers and whatnot. And I thought all those looked really good.
They looked really good. They were the choreograph was really good. And I'm thinking to myself, his father left for long periods of time, and his father was, this wannabe comic
rambling man.
But it allowed Robbie to kind of become famous. So I'm thinking, I'm gonna leave my kids for a while, and see what happens with my son.
As a father, do you think that leaving your kids is probably the okay? So let's talk about this for half a second because we've got to.
Yeah.
So Robbie's dad does kind of like a nightclub act here and everything.
Yeah.
He's doing his little kind of stand-up and whatnot. He essentially, for lack of a better phrase, wins an open mic.
Yes, gets
Some sort of open mic competition.
£5. How much is that in
Like
American?
$10?
$10? Okay.
Like $10.
I do remember that, £5.
So he wins $10 and decides, I'm going to become famous now, and leaves his family.
It was,
and it's not like he leaves his. It's not like he got this. Like he got 10 pounds, and somebody saw his act, and they drove him to the top.
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
No.
He just took that 10 pounds,
Yeah.
and he got onto the bus, and then left his entire family and went to go MC other events.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all he's doing.
Just a host. Never a headliner. Just a host.
Just MC and going, hey everybody, here's this guy that was famous 45 years ago. Here he is now.
Yeah.
And that's what he's supposed to be proud of.
Yeah. And Robbie is like, I was forgiven,
Yeah, listen, you were a real piece of crap dad here and everything. You kind of left us. You didn't do nothing. But, there is, I do like it. There's the sweetness of it, and I think you do need that within, narrative storytelling and stuff like that to be
It was very sweet. I don't think you really hated any character in it. Even his father, you kind of forgive him a little bit towards the end. But, yeah, I don't know. Overall, good movie.
Yeah, I would say it's a recommendation. I don't know I recommend anyone to go out and see this in a theater, though. I don't know that it really requires you going out for a theater.
No,
I feel like
I
this
agree.
is on Netflix or HBO or something like that. It's a nice sunny, Sunday, afternoon movie or something like that. We're like, all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of got some vibes. Remember the Elton John movie that came out not too long ago?
Yeah. Now I will say this: if we're going to compare, let's do a little comparison here because I think that's warranted. The Elton John movie, Rocket Man, is better than this.
Yeah, I agree.
It's better than this just from a performance standpoint, from a musical standpoint, shooting and all, it is just better.
Yeah, I agree.
But I would put this movie over Bohemian Rhapsody for sure.
I felt like that's where you're going, and I agree completely. We had mentioned before the movie that we couldn't believe that, was it Rami Malek?
Yeah.
Is his name? Won an Oscar for that performance.
Won an Oscar for lip syncing to Queen.
Yeah.
That's what y'all gave him an Oscar for.
Oh my God. And Sacha Baron Cohen should have done it. I heard the script was much better, but they didn't want to do it because it was going to accurately portray Freddie Mercury.
You know the fun part about that movie?
What's that?
So Bryan Singer was the first person that was doing the original Bohemian Rhapsody and everything. He kind of all the Bryan Singer allegations came up.
Yeah.
So that was no bueno. And so the guy who ended up directing that without taking your credit and everything ended up being the guy who directed Rocket Man. So
okay.
So there you go. It's a nice little thing. But Rocket Man, better movie. But
agreed.
It's tougher. It's weird to do all these bio films and stuff. And at least this one, I will give them credit for doing something that's a little bit different. As odd and stupid as the monkey gimmick is, it does at least make this feel different than every other lame ass biopic. I think if we'd have just seen a face or de-age Robbie Williams or whatever,
it would.
I think the whole movie would have just fell apart.
It was a good angle to have because if you're just like, hey, here's a biopic about Robbie Williams, and it
would be just like America right now, where we just go who?
What? Okay.
He's a fucking monkey, and you're like, oh, a monkey. All right, I'll go see a monkey.
The monkey angle definitely pulls you in a bit, but there was 7 people in the theater.
Yeah.
This is going to be a hard sell in America.
No, yeah, it's a tough one, but if you're curious about who Robbie Williams is, this movie will give you a pretty damn good cliff notes of it, and probably in a more entertaining way than what actually happened in real life, because it's a musical and all the big over the top stuff and whatnot, so it works.
And it's obviously a cautionary tale as well, that when you get famous, I had no idea he was 15. He mentions that in the movies.
Yeah, that Abe looks a lot older than 15.
Yeah, he does look a lot older.
And Abe looks like he's 19.
But yeah, wow. I'm not going to get my kids into anything before. You got to be 18 before we make you
start
famous.
Heading down on the famous train. But yeah, so that's Better Man. It's out in theaters right now. Recommend?
Yes, I do recommend it.
Yeah, I recommend this as well. And like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. You know who I am? I'm a chubby wanker.
Yeah, you're a fucking fat. Well, they say titting it a lot. I like that.
A lot of tit in there.
What are you doing, you fucking tit? I've never heard that before, but I'm gonna use it.
As if it was like a standard insult, like jerk. Yeah.